microphone. Hope this is pretty fine. Sorry, the visuals are still not very good. If you're watching on the YouTube, looking and watching at the same time. Different level of perceptual viewing. Anyway, sorry, this might be a bit loud. I don't know. I'm working with volumes as I am. But yeah, I haven't put much up in a while. 'Cause I guess I'm fearful that the reason that I am doing this is because of a need to please myself with the acceptance of others. Get a few clicks and a comment or two, and then you're like, oh, ready for my day. Now I can go and be myself today because other people like what I have to say. So yeah, kind of a boost, because apparently, for some reason, a personal boost is not enough. You need it from someone else. But yeah, maybe that's pretty much why I walked away from this for a bit, because I didn't want to be relying on other people for my own fulfillment, I suppose. Yeah, pretty much. So why am I back on it now? You know what? It's so therapeutic to just talk about things that's going on in your mind. Not even for anyone else, but just for yourself. I recently went to a coffee shop, and there was a book meeting and Jordan Peterson book reading meeting, and there was a guy who's basically talking about how people structure their conversations. And what I found is that generally what I find myself doing is noticing there's a point that I'm trying to get to, but I haven't quite thought it out entirely. So therefore I kind of dance around and play a bunch of games until I find the root of what it is I'm trying to get to. Now, originally this realization kind of made me think, oh, I'm not communicating correctly, whatever that means. Because basically I think the way that they're kind of structuring their ideas is because they've thought it through. They have the kind of foundation they build to a point and kind of create a story along the line, which makes it more relatable and easy to understand and easier to consume. Whereas for me, I go the way of the jester and I'm dancing until I eventually figure out what it is that's going on. And nothing wrong in that at all. Suppose if there were certain ideas that I had more in mind, they would have a bit more structure because they're thought out. But then they're preconceived ideas. And a preconceived idea can very much become a belief. And a belief can slowly become a limitation, because belief is basically predicting the future will act as it has in the past. And the future's too unpredictable, and the past is way gone. Unless it's like a second ago, then it's like it's just past. You just missed it. But unfortunately for you, don't know what you were looking for there, but you're gonna have to try again right now. So, yeah. So this is basically me just clarifying some points to myself, I suppose. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. I'm not anything. This is just me exercising the demons, but going on points of good and bad. What is good and what is bad is... I mentioned this before a few times in talks. I'd rather look at it as what serves and what does not serve, because then it's more practical rather than judgmental, because you can do something about it. Because good is just very relative to the individual. Well, I guess so does what serves is also relative to the individual. But I think it's just it's a clearer way to kind of see what's going on. Because good and bad is very much also what you're told is good for you. What's good? What's a good person? What does a good person do? And what we're trying to be good, essentially. But why? I think the majority of us are trying to be good because we're trying to please the status quo of how you should be as a human being. But how you should be as a human being is evolving so much over time. And usually it evolves by the people who are considered bad because they're breaking the quo. So sometimes you gotta be a little bit bad to be good. Doing good makes me feel bad. Sometimes doing bad makes me feel good. I don't know, I feel like there's a song that kind of uses that as a line. But yeah, yeah. So find what works for you. I think we gotta let go of the need of perfection. Like, we want it all to be set now, but the thing is, you gotta deal with evolution and change. And to elaborate on that, because that might seem a bit vague, you gotta be okay with allowing your beliefs and structures to kind of break down. But at the same time, also trusting in what you believe in this moment, because whether it's true or not is kind of irrelevant because it's true to you, and it's your reality. And I think by accepting that and really seeing, okay, this is the truth for me, you can either, well, then you can kind of experiment with it and be like, okay, to what extent is this true? And then you can work from that ground and break out and start to either kind of confirm it or defirm it, soften it out, make it loose like a river, so it can swerve and go down into the ocean, make a wave, so a guy can ride upon that wave with his surfboard, riding to the shore, taking a story to his friends about the wave that he rode that came from the river, that came from the deformation of one's belief. It's my Morgan Freeman impression there, I suppose. So, you got to work with that, yeah. Like, there's reality as it is outside, like, you know, like solids are a bunch of atoms firmly stood together, as liquid is atoms loosely spread apart, and then air is complete chaos of just atoms. There's like the science to that, the proof to that. But in order for your internal beliefs to correspond with the external, as well as the external to correspond with your internal, you have to be honest with yourself. And being honest means sometimes accepting that maybe you're full of shit. But you have to know that you're full of shit in order to fertilize yourself, I suppose. Know that you're full of shit so you can get rid of the shit. Because if you're full of shit and you think, no, this is the way it is, man, this is how it goes, bro, man, this is it. This is it. It's right. It's right. It's definitely right. Then you're not gonna be too open to new interpretation, new information, new exploration, are you? Come on, man. It's all real, man. The other dimensions and the other me that exist on a timetable, which is squared by 52, and that makes me like an octopus being with 18 eyes, but none of them work except the invisible third eye. Yeah, sure. That's what you believe. Sure. Cool. So know that's true, and then kind of work to, well, know that's true for you. Know that's your truth, because if it wasn't just your truth, everyone else would believe it, but they don't. So you believe in that, great. Okay, now work with that and sharpen that until it becomes disprovable. And once that becomes the case, then if it is, then we can use that to serve humanity as a whole. Because your belief should be there in order to serve not just yourself, but others. If you have a belief that is just absolutely pointless, what is the point in having it? Kind of like the paradox of, if God can do anything, can he make a rock that he can't move? If he does, then he can do anything, but then he has made it something that he can't move, so therefore he can't do anything anymore. Big circle. Great fun, hilarious. But like, to put that as like a fundamental whoa of life, it's kind of pointless. Like, what does it do? I mean, it reveals that possibly there are a lot of paradoxes within the world. Things kind of contradict themselves and don't go. So okay, it does have a bit of service. So using that it's usable. There's no point in having anything if it ain't usable. But then again, if it wasn't here, well, the fact that it is here kind of shows that it's usable. Anything's usable, I suppose. But use it to kind of dissolve itself. So this is something different that I got into. This is I'm still looking at, actually. Where's my book? Let me get my book and I'll share with y'all what it is that I'm thinking of. Thinking of things I don't know. I got it. Okay. So I found myself in a bit of turmoil this past week. Been a bit struggling. I just wasn't sure what basically to believe. I felt like I needed to believe something, man. I felt beliefless, and that was kind of a bit. It put me down a little bit, because I used to be one of those fellas who believed in all sorts of things. The universe is part of me, as I am it, and we explore ourselves by embracing ourselves as it. Oneness. I still kind of believe that. But the kind of woo-woo of the universe is it's a being that's speaking to you through its guardian angels. So you gotta get those chakras in line, so those signals strong for the angels to make their way through to you. Seems like I'm making fun of it, but I am. I'm having a bit of fun with it, for sure. Again, this is things that I used to believe, and then I found that it just wasn't making sense to me. Could still be real. I don't know. I don't know how to go about practicalizing that, making that practical. I don't know. Anyway, I was having a hard week, and maybe because my chakras are out of line. Yeah, I was having a hard week, and my head was just insane, and I felt like I needed a change of environment, this and that and that. But basically, I found that I had a lot of questions going on. It is not wrong, it is not right, it is only true. Hold on. Okay. Unravel the mind, and in the silence you will sit. An answer is needed only when there is a question. Okay, this is it. So the questions that I had in my head were the thing causing me torment. I was tormenting myself over the questions, and therefore I needed an answer, and I couldn't quite get the answer. And I wasn't satisfied until I get the answer. It's kind of like, I need the new phone. I am so sick of this whole thing. Let's try this. I needed a new football because my one's punctured, and I see this glistening, glossy, inflated, well-stitched football. And I'd be in turmoil until I had it. I wouldn't get a release until I had it. I wouldn't get a release from smoking until I had that nicotine rush. So I needed to smoke in order to not want to smoke, basically. Same with the question. Same with needing the answer. Unless you get the answer, you'll be sat with the question. The question is if you take a question too seriously, it can wrap you up, man. And I was taking it very seriously. Very seriously. Like, seriously. Like, whatever. So, it was just a lot. So yeah, you can frustrate yourself over unanswered questions in order to live life. So it's preventing myself from living life because I needed an answer to life. Or you can surrender all questions and just live life. So you can either live the life, or you can prevent yourself from living life by trying to answer a question about life. So being it seems a lot more logical than thinking about it. Or rather, be life. Let it live through you. So yeah, this is when I was in a debate between you either live life or you be life, because you are life. You're living. You are life itself. Makes sense. Can life live life? Can life live life? Can life live life? But this basically led me to realize, it's another question. Oh, I caught myself out again, bro. Ooh, gonna do the snappy thing, but I don't know how to do it with this hand. Not very good, but yeah, anyway. Alright, chill, bro. Whatever. Who cares? This is a question and answer will only... This is the question. Oh, yeah. I asked a different question there, but what I wrote here was what or who are you? Life? Can life live life? That's, again, it's a good question. But taking it seriously is what led me into turmoil. Well, taking my past question seriously led me into a bit of turmoil. And it was no fun by the end of the game. Mainly because it wasn't a game. And if it was a game, then it could have been a bit more interesting. So, I realized that, again, this is a question. An answer will only lead to more questions. So if I did answer it, another door would open, or a window would open, or a back door would open, or maybe there's a cellar, which could lead me to some inner demons, and then I'd have to confront some demons, fight them off, and then I'll be more powerful, and then I'll come outside, and then I'll be like, yes, but aren't those demons part of me? Shouldn't I accept them as myself? But now I've just killed them and reject them completely, so therefore I am not whole. I cannot be whole because I'm too busy trying to be perfect. It's my inner devil inside. We all got it. We all got the fella. Anyway, trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Jim Carrey, beautiful man. He basically said this during a speech, is that I don't know post this line, but basically what I got from it and what I used it as was overthinking and trying to get your questions to life will leave you trapped in the complexity of the mind, trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Life is expressed from where it is, not from where it wishes to be. So the question, the answer that I wanted from the question, I felt as if though once I knew that answer, then I would be the person that I'm trying to be. Because the person that I want to be has that answer. The person I want to be has the answer that I don't currently know. And once I have it, then I'll be it. But what I'm trying to do is just live life authentically, I guess. That's my point. I just want to be life. I want to fully encompass it. But in my head, I think I've got it in my head that means knowing everything. But that's kind of illogical. You can discover everything. But knowing everything, that's a mind game. And a mind game is very limited. But an understanding game is something of the soul, so I hear. And I can't... Whether I believe in a soul is... Ugh. I could only think about it. And I know if I think about a soul, it's missing the point. So if I do have a soul. It's definitely got nothing to do with the mind, but I only really know how to work with the mind and the body. The soul is, I mean, I'd say emotion, but that's chemical reactions and this and that. But maybe the soul has a play there. Maybe the soul is chemical. Maybe. Anyway, life is expressed from where it is, not where it wants to be. What it wants to be is an illusion, or an idea, or a goal. Good to have a goal, I suppose. It's good to have a goal and to want to reach towards that. And that's, yeah, it's good to know kind of what you want. It makes things clearer. But I think along the journey of it, you gotta just take it willy-nilly, bro. Because if you're too serious, you'll beat yourself down, and you'll really criticize yourself, and that's no fun. And what's the point of life if you're not having fun, you know? So it is not right nor wrong. Oh, we got back to this again. Uh-oh. So I made it through. It is not right nor wrong. It is only true as it is always relative from where you stand. Yeah, we went over this. So do not be serious with doubt. Be playful with experience. Be wary of questions and where they lead. 2 more questions. But question with the intent to dissolve the question itself. Because the question is the thing that causes you the most suffering. So, dissolve the question itself that you are asking. Only question in order to dissolve other questions so that you are an empty space. And when you are an empty space, there is room to play and enjoy and grow. Well, that's for me anyway, because I know what I want out of this question, is to be a certain type of person. But by doing that, I'm implying lack. When you say want, you imply lack. So I'm not good enough until I have that. And when you look at yourself as not good enough, you don't treat yourself very well. But if you accept yourself as who you are, grand, then we'll just play as we grow. Because you're growing inevitably. You'll go in some direction. Just be kind to yourself along the way. But I do suppose you need to boot sometimes. Boot. No, I hate myself. No, I don't hate you. I'm just like, let's go, bruh. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Stop sitting around and being a silly beluda. Thinking about existentiality of reality. Is existentiality a word? No, but who cares? I'm not going to judge myself for it. But no, I mean, why would I judge myself for it? I might have done it in the past. It's good to know how you were and see where you are at. I definitely improved, bro. It's good. Again, don't hold on to the past. You can use it as like a reference point. See where you've come from. Wow, I'm pretty proud of where I've come from. Because it brought me here. Because if it was, yeah. So that's yeah. I like that a lot. Question with the intent to dissolve the question itself. Question with the intent to dissolve the question itself. Question with the intent to destroy. That's a bit intense, isn't it? I guess you can destroy if you want to. You gotta break things down to build them back up again. Question with the intent to dissolve the question itself. Question with the intent to dissolve the question itself. By the question itself. By the question itself. I gotta go. Yeah. So, man, I could stop here, but I'm enjoying myself too much. So I'm just gonna keep going. Well done to anyone who's actually listened to this, who has the attention span strong enough to make it this far. Very impressed. Because I know for myself, I get lost in YouTube rat holes all the time. So yeah, that's a thing to work on. But let's not beat ourselves up over it, okay? Just make a change, man. Don't worry about it. But if you keep catching yourself in some rabbit holes, maybe it's worth a knock on the head. Hello? Yes, this is your inner higher self speaking. Oh Come in. Thank you. Would you like some tea or some coffee? No. Thank you. I am nourished by the sentient beings of the afterlife that continues to bring me life, which brings you life. Oh, wow, fascinating. Biscuits? No, I do not eat material things. It's just food. It's tasty. Got him some from Sainsbury's. Well, in that case. No, I have come to tell you that you need to stop watching YouTube videos. Unless, of course, they're educational in some way or some form. But the celebrities. But what about the celebrities? We must know what they're up to on a day-to-day basis. I need to know what it's like to be the extent of a human being. The extent of a human being is through me, not through ideas and beliefs and fancy clothing. But you gotta believe, you gotta admit, the clothes are damn fancy. I shall admit this, yes. However, it is not fundamental to a good life. Fundamental, no, but useful. Not, I mean, I suppose, if not taken too seriously. Speaking of serious, you have a very serious voice. I know. I'm so hard on myself. I'm so hard on myself. That's okay. Have a biscuit. Thank you. Yeah, boy. Well, today is a day like any other day. I would have said the day of the week, but does it matter? Maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. What day is it? It's Friday. Oh, it's Friday, bro. Probably thinking, why aren't you at work, Dylan? Well, I got today off, brother. So, yeah. So I'm chilling and expressing, unloading the shite that I have to see how smelly it is and to see if it would be any use in fertilizing my inner garden. I'd like to have a nice inner garden. Gotta say, my external garden ain't looking very good at the moment. But I suppose you gotta have a good inner garden to have a good outer garden. But then would it not work vice versa? Should I have a good outer garden in order to have a good inner garden? Same thing. Inner outer. Samer. Inner outer samer. Inner outer the same. Inner outer samer. Name. Inner outer samer name. Sorry. I'm being a bit loopy and groupy. But you gotta enjoy yourself. Once again, as I said, like 8 times. I say it many times because it's of importance, sir. Sire. Where's the jester? I need someone to juggle for me. Taming the lands is hefty work. Yeah, so after kind of meditating and writing that out and kind of chilling out a little bit, it's I feel a lot better now. During this week I was feeling like quite serious, like real surreal. Surreal. I'm super surreal, guys. So yeah, but I'm good now. Thanks for asking. I feel like there's a lot of South Park references there. Thanks for asking. I'm super. So yeah, check up on yourselves. I guess if you want to try and take anything from this, say how you doing to yourself. How many times a day do you say how are you to you? Other people say it to you, and you just kind of nod it off like, yeah, grand, whatever, fine. How are you? How are you? How are you? But what about you? Uh how are you? Like for real? I'm trying to be like serious there, but no, it's important. You gotta just give yourself a hug, man. Just wrap your arms like that, and just give a good tap. But yeah, no, it's mad important. Speaking of which, yeah, I think that's kind of the way I wanted to go with that. I hope you enjoyed that. Only 30 minutes, not too bad, not too long. I usually do like an hour or something, but I'm keeping it chill for you today, sign. So yeah, have a good lifetime. Have a good you. Be good. Good is relative. Just feel. Find the truth. Love the truth. And make some joy out of it. Alright, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do y'all thing.